Honor the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, at heritage sites. July is Disability Pride Month because of what happened on this day, July 26th, in 1990. Because of the advocacy of people experiencing disabilities or people with different abilities, then President George H.W. Bush signed into law the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, a civil rights act, on July 26, 1990. And now this.
Have you heard of the Capitol Crawl? In March of 1990, dozens of disability rights activists got out of their wheelchairs, put down their canes, crutches, and other assistive devices, and crawled up the steps of the Capitol building, urging Congress to pass the Americans with Disabilities Act. It would prohibit discrimination on the basis of disability. One of the protesters, Anita Cameron, was part of a group called ADAPT, the disability rights organization that created the direct action. Cameron says they were considered radicals and militants at the time, but the protest made waves. After a week of demonstrations, the bill garnered major bipartisan support, and 4 months later, George H.W. Bush signed the ADA into law. It didn't solve everything overnight. More than 30 years later, some say there's still a very long way to go.
There are laws in place and whatnot, but I think our society kind of has to catch up to making sure that we're part of this, that we're not second-class citizens, that we're not disposable.
President Lyndon B. Johnson signed into law the Civil Rights Act on July 2, 1964. It was the result, in large part, of the hard-won efforts over many years of Black people against the discrimination they experienced from white people and white-led institutions, with the support of allies and co-conspirators. It's a landmark civil rights and labor law in the United States that outlaws discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. The ADA is one of many civil rights acts, like the Marriage Equality Act of 2015, that exists because of the bravery and sacrifices of Black women, men, girls, and boys that led to the precedent-setting Civil Rights Act of 1964. And in 2024, we celebrate the 60th anniversary of the passing of this act. Cultural heritage sites that are accessible support the autonomy and agency of everyone to access important services they need to live and thrive, to play, to learn about our shared history, and more. Thank you to the many advocates like Gina Cameron and Jennifer Keegan Chaffins, who was 8 years old at the time of the 1990 Capitol Crawl protests that raised awareness about inaccessible architecture.